everybody. Good evening. I'm going to give it just a few more minutes before we get started. This is Sandra. I'm glad that you came tonight. Thank you for sharing some time with me. And let's just give it about another minute and then we'll get started, because after all, this will be recorded and anybody who does miss it is going to get it in their inbox. So not to worry. Hi, I want to introduce myself. I am Sandra Miller and I'm a health coach. I've been a personal trainer for 25 years and a health coach for 30. And so I've been helping people find the best ways to get healthy by staying on top of all the current science, maybe a little bit of trial and error, but I stay on top of the science, and I'm here today to help people get healthier. Because honestly, for about the past 50 or so years, you've been lied to. The diet that we've been told is healthy for us is ruining our health. People are seeing this manifested in things like blood pressure, overweight, diabetes, headaches, heart murmurs, skin conditions, and all kinds of things that we typically go to a doctor for. You're going to find most of the time, you're going to find some relief in just some natural, healthy foods, reducing some of the chemicals in the foods, in our homes, and all of those things goes a long way towards feeling better, and we'll talk about why. So first of all, what I want to share with you, give me a moment, I'm going to share my screen, is who am I and why am I doing this? Well, I just told you who I was. And why am I doing this? Well, I'm doing this because I can't help as many people individually as I can when I bring a group together. And that's why I decided to do this. The information that's out there on the internet, there is so much. It's very confusing to know what's the right thing to do. And I'm sure the majority of people have done all the things they've been told to feel better, to lose weight, to sleep better, to not have joint aches and fatigue. And they've done all of these things, but something isn't working. So how do we learn to do the things that optimize each body system and then collectively improve our health, slow down our aging process and degenerative processes, and ignite our metabolism with strategies that are deeply embedded in our own genetic code? So how do we do that? Well, tonight we're going to talk about how we do that. First, I'm going to take a quick moment. Let me just unshare for a second to play a disclaimer. I do want to let you know that there's some important things that I do need to tell you. It's very brief, and thank you for your patience. So give me just a minute. Hey everybody, and welcome to the start of the Fuel program. I'm Sandra Miller, and I'm a health coach. I've been in the business for about 30 years, helping people to find the information that they need to take control of their health. And tonight, I am really excited to begin the first leg of the Fuel program. But before we get started, I just want to provide a little bit of a disclaimer. Okay, so hang tight and we'll get started momentarily. I'm just going to read this off to you, make it real easy and real quick, and then we can get started. So I just want you to know that Sandra Miller provides presentation services to those who seek health information that may be used by individuals to improve their health, fitness, or understanding of how the body functions best. Sandra Miller may also provide the presentees with ways or means to help change habits that lead to more successful implementation of health improvement strategies. Information presented and shared may come from publications, studies, websites, webinars, lectures, or other printed media or web-based material, and handouts are not provided. I may share by means of digital delivery,
It happens,
existing publications that relate to the subject matter to be presented as a matter of convenience only. The relationship cannot be considered health coaching because it is a practice that practice is not legal in the state of Florida nor many other states. So I'm a presenter. I'm presenting you with information on how to be the most healthy through the healthiest foods to eat and the best practices to have. So that's what this is. So I just want you to understand that I am in no way saying that everybody that's attending tonight should do every single thing that I say. Of course, you would want to speak with your doctor before making any changes to your fitness and nutrition routines. Always consult with a healthcare practitioner. So with that being said, let's get started. Okay. So now we'll actually get started. So like I said, I wanted to talk a lot about using foods and not fads. Okay, when I say using foods and not fads, what I primarily mean by that is talking about the role of whole and natural foods and changing health outcomes by doing that. We're going to cover what foods are best, what to look for when you go to the supermarket, why do certain foods need to be organic, the health benefits of flora and fermented foods, and a few other things. So I broke up the F's in two sections for the simple purpose that we're going to cover the fats and fasting section next week all together. So this is going to be a little bit of, what you're looking for in your food, whereas the next session is really more of what foods are the types of foods that go well with the diet that optimizes human condition the best. And that's pretty much what it boils to in a nutshell. So we can slow down the aging process, we can be more energetic, more sharp in the mind, and all of those things if we just make a few simple food changes. So what we want to do is we want to be able to choose foods that are going to ignite our metabolism. And the reason for that is this. To be honest with you, the majority of the things that we face today, whether it be exhaustion or lack of motivation, sorry folks, lack of motivation, any of those things, or overweight, thyroid problems, the majority of those things come from some sort of a disruption to our metabolism. And where do those things come from? They come from the foods we eat, the water we drink, the air we breathe, what we put on and in our bodies, and what we're exposed to every day. Okay, all of those things have a direct effect on your metabolism because our bodies were meant to adapt. And sometimes their adaptation mechanisms cause a lot of discomfort for humans. So we have to know what those things are and be able to eliminate as many of the things that cause disruption and do as many of the things that cause optimization. So when I say only whole, real foods, what would I be excluding? I'm here to tell you tonight that you will be going to another program, finding another resource, if you don't make some of the changes that I talk about. And the reason for that is, I'm not saying you need to, I'm just saying you will be back in the same place because the foods that we eat today are primarily processed. Our bodies only need about a teaspoon of sugar a day, and our body can make that all on its own. With today's fast-paced lifestyle and a lot of refined foods and food concoctions, I'm not going to call them foods because let's be honest, they are not food. Food comes from the earth. It either grows or it comes from the animals or it flies in the sky or it swims or it grows out of the ground. That's food. Anything that comes out of a package that was processed, that was refined, that is a food-like substance, but it's not food. And the reason why we can say it's not food is because if you look at food for what it really is, it's information. So the information that you're providing to your body probably right now as we speak is telling your body to do all the things that you're suffering from right now. And the only way to fix that is to not do those things anymore and to do the things that are going to optimize all of those biological systems and metabolisms and keep the body well. So when we're looking at eating a more whole foods-based diet, that would mean that soy crisps would be off the menu. That would also mean that things like Slim Fast or any type of energy drink or, type of pre-made shake would probably not be on the menu because we're looking at things that are only whole and real, ideally. When we do that and we really pay attention to the quality of the food that we do eat, a lot of our issues start to go away very, very quickly. So if it came from the earth, it's typically good. And there's a saying in the paleo community who eat basically closer to an ancestral diet where they say that it's a snout to tail is what we eat. So, back when we were all walking on all fours on the ground, pretty much we only had fruits and vegetables and meats and maybe some nuts. And, occasionally if something soured on the ground like cow's milk, we might have had something that resembled butter or cottage cheese, but we really didn't have a whole lot. And so everything that we're eating today is throwing our metabolisms into chaos. Every system affects every other system. So you're going to get issues all the way down the chain. Some people are suffering from digestive issues. What I'm going to be telling you over the next few weeks can virtually take the symptoms that you may have been experiencing for years and years and make them go away like they never happened, because you'd be dealing with the root cause, and we will talk about what those are. So if it came from the earth, if you're walking the perimeter of the store, and I'm not talking about the deli counter and the bakery, I'm talking about the produce department, the cheese shops, the meat department. As you walk along the meat wall, you typically run into chicken and maybe seafood. And then you come into the dairy department. You might have some yogurt in there or some almond milk or whatever, but for the most part, they're foods that came from animals. They have been packaged, some of them, but they are the most whole and real foods that we have, that we can find. They're not lean cuisine. Again, they're not slim fast. They're not gluten-free pizza. They're not any of those things. They're whole and real foods. So animal products, fruits, veggies, nuts, seeds, and those are the staples. Now, we also believe in eating in season. You will always be more optimally healthy when you eat in season. Think of this. We're not able to just walk out into the orchard as cavemen and pick ourselves a bushel of fruit. It didn't happen, okay? Even fruit in moderation is going to make you a lot healthier. It's going to help you reduce cravings because you won't be throwing yourself into some crazy blood sugar swings. A handful here and a handful there, everything in moderation, and moderation is a lot less than you think it is. And that's why we get into the trouble we do today. We're doing a banana in the smoothie, and hey, we're putting greens in there, so it's great. But there's about 80 grams of carbohydrate in that smoothie, and we haven't even hit lunchtime yet, and some of us haven't even hit breakfast. So really, we just want to keep that food whole and natural. So instead of fruit smoothies or juice, it would be more like fresh fruit. And we're going to talk about what to look for when you're buying fruit so that you can get the freshest, cleanest fruits, vegetables, and produce that's possible for your budget. Also, it's important to be bringing family back to the table. If we want to be healthy, we can't do it in a fast food restaurant. There's just no way. We have to take the time and learn to make those things important that keep us successful. Preparing things ahead of time based on what your family likes and what's easily travelable is always going to be the best thing. And I'm sorry, it's obviously important. She's called me twice. So bringing the family back to the table, there's a lot more reasons than just, to be able to eat together. There are studies that are showing that we actually lower our stress hormones and produce more feel-good hormones when we take part of eating food with others. But bringing the family back to the table, saying, hey, it's important that we spend time. Maybe everybody takes a turn to cook something that they like or learn a new dish. Get everybody back to the table and choose only whole, real foods, okay? Food does not contain ingredients. Food is ingredients, right? Am I right? So again, bring it back to the table.